This is big. That's what we do. This is big, and it's going to be fun. And let's go. I mean, the intensity is up now. This is a playoff game, and they're going to know that. And so that's how we're going into it. For us, it's got to be a win-win either way. You know, either we're playing to get in or we're playing to be spoiler, and that's it. So either way, we win.
I love him, Brew. You've tied your boat to Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Yep. But you gotta love Dan. You gotta have a little bit. You probably have Detroit roots somewhere, correct?
Well, my brother does live in Detroit. My brother does live in Detroit. But no, I do like Dan Campbell. Everybody mocked him for the kneecaps press conference, and I kind of mocked him too. But I really like him. He's gonna have his players charge up. And coach, this is what I didn't like about Aaron Rodgers' post-game press conference on Sunday. He was talking like they already made the playoffs. What's the media gonna say now? And you know, it just bothered me like they were looking past Detroit. And I'm picking the Packers, but
reluctantly.
I mean, I just think it's gonna be a tough game because I think Detroit is really good now. They won 7 of their last 9.
Yeah, Dan Campbell's manifesting an angry team one way or the other. Right. And there's no reason not to take him seriously, and that's the Detroit that they're going to get. And either way, so if they're out of it, they're going to do everything they can to spoil Green Bay's trip and relish in the fact that they can do that. And if they're in the mix, they're as dangerous as anybody. They've improved defensively. Not anywhere near where they need to be, but they've improved significantly, and then they're so explosive offensively. It's going to be a problem.
Yeah, listen, I'm on the record from yesterday. I don't like that this is the Sunday night game. I think it's unfair. I think it gives the Packers an unfair advantage.
In what way?
Well, if Seattle wins in the early game and they're a big favorite, Detroit knows they can't make the playoffs. Now, I do think they'll play hard for Dan Campbell either way, but I think there's a psychological component of knowing you're eliminated that makes it harder to go full go.
I think they might go the other way.
Yeah,
They'd be furious.
Furious, and plus for a team that's never been in a lot of high-pressure games, it may take all that pressure off of them and they go into it and relax and cut it loose.
Coach? I hadn't thought about that. Because they could actually be a tougher opponent if they don't have the anxiety of if we win this playoff game. We're
angry and relaxed.
Okay, that's a fair point.
Angry and relaxed.
I hadn't thought about that.
Guy at a bar wants to fight you and super chill. Oh no!
Looking forward to beating you up.
Can I say something about the Lions real quick though? They've been better than Green Bay this year.
Yeah.
They beat Green Bay. They beat the Giants by 13. They beat NFL royalty by 26 points. They beat the Vikings by 9. They played Buffalo, we all saw it on Thanksgiving, down to the wire. And here's one of the reasons they've been better than Green Bay. This year they've had the better quarterback.
Yeah, you're coming around.
Well, it's not that I'm coming around. Just look at the numbers.
You like Jared Goff now?
I don't like Jared Goff now. But not only has he played in the Super Bowl far more recently than Aaron Rodgers, but he also this season has been far better.
Thought you were Mr. Consistency.
And so I am Mr. Consistency.
You don't like Jared Goff?
I don't like Jared Goff in general. I'm sure he's a fine guy.
You got to cheer for him.
I cheer for him. And listen,
you root for Jared Goff.
He has achieved way more than a man of his hand size ever should have at this NFL level. However, I think the idea that the Packers deserve to be 4.5-point favorites. I know they're at home. I don't think they're the better team.
So you got the Lions.
I have the Lions.
He's got the Lions. He loves Jared Goff. Quickly, Coach, could the Lions game plan, as crazy as this sounds, they're like, you know what? Aaron Rodgers needs to beat us. We're going to sit back and I know you're the 2-time defending back-to-back MVP, but we don't think you can beat us. We're going to stop the run and let him throw.
Yeah, look, with Dan Campbell, I think that any approach is possible, and I would say, yeah, putting it on him, putting everything on the table, saying, all right, you want to talk about it, you want to be the man, you want to manifest this, let's see if you can manifest it.
Wow. Putting the man up and manifest. We're coming back after the break talking LeBron. This is silly. For a title? Give me a break.
Amazing.
Answer the question. Who can fix Russ?
No.
Maybe Jim Harbaugh. Mike Florio reporting that the Broncos have reached out to the Michigan coach.
Bad fit.
Maybe he's the answer. Brew, he's your guy.
Brew, you're a Michigan man.
And my daughter went to
Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah.
That's right. So both
Finish
of you
what he
from my
started.
guys.
He's got to win a national title.
Well,
come on.
He's turned him into a national
Yeah,
power, so
so
I'll
he
give him
should
that. The question is, can he fix Russell Wilson? Can he get Russell Wilson back to the 9-time Pro Bowler? I'm not sure. But can he fix him and help him be much better next year to the point where they're challenging for the playoffs? Absolutely.
Challenging for the playoffs is where we're
it's
at.
sad.
Hold
It's
on, the
sad how
defense is
mighty have
legit.
fallen.
Some of the skill
Challenging.
players
We
are
know,
pretty
but we're
good.
The Lions
they
are
need a
challenging for the
quarterback,
playoffs.
and if he fixes Russell Wilson, did he fix Alex Smith? Yes,
I agree with
everywhere
you.
he's been, he's won.
Of course.
Alex Smith was viewed as a bust.
Yeah.
Right? He was 19 and 31 without Harbaugh for 5 years.
Yeah.
19-5-1 with
Harbaugh's
Harbaugh.
awesome.
And then Colin Kaepernick, his best years
Yes, of
were
course.
under Harbaugh. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying Russ will be a Pro Bowler again, but I do think it can help him. And ask the Chiefs. Russ has shown me something against Nick's Chiefs.
All right, listen.
6 touchdowns in 2 games against the Chiefs.
Yeah, people call him the best tackle in football. I would want Jalen to experience, okay, with the backup in here, I can't do as much of this. I need to be more cognizant of that. I think he obviously has to play, even if it's just for a half, so he can get back in rhythm and so he can see what the team looks like in its present state, Coach.
Yeah, well, you really got to rely on the doctors here because let's say Jalen goes back and he's got a chance to not necessarily re-injure it, but let's say he aggravates it, and now he's going to miss another 2 or 3 weeks. It's just not worth it. I'd rather be able to give him at least another week of rest for the opportunity to have him in the playoffs.
Yep.
And it really does come down to that conversation with the doctors, with Jalen, because if you take that risk and he re-injures it and not even re-injures, just aggravates it enough so that he can't perform at the level he should be able to perform at, and I understand the rust component of it, it just seems like too big of a risk at this point in the season.
I'm with Nick. I think you got to get him out there. But, Coach, I want to ask you this. If let's say he doesn't play, and now he's a month without playing, do you do anything differently in practice to try to get him, in some close to game situations in practice?
Yeah, you do, but it's so hard to simulate the speed. And the other thing that happens is there's a different speed going from the regular season to postseason. Just like it goes from preseason to regular season to postseason is that much faster. So as much as you want to simulate the experience and the speed and the decision making, you can't. And I get what you're saying, Nick, about knocking this rust off and giving a chance to figure out how things fit now with the new alignment. But if he dings that at all, now you've got a guy who's at half what he could be.
Go ahead, Wiles.
Well, Mike, I was going to ask you. Do you want Jalen to play to get the experience, or do you want him to play because he gives the Eagles the best chance to win?
No, I think the Eagles are going to win this game either way.
Okay, that's what
I am operating under the assumption that the Giants are going to be the most conservative team of this entire NFL weekend as far as injuries and everything, because they are locked into the 6th seed, because they are already incredibly thin on the offensive line, the receiving core, all of it. So I think Philly's backups can beat the Giants' backups, right? My point is, none of this is good if you're Philadelphia. You are the most injured you've been at any point in the season. You're dealing with your only adversity you've dealt with at any point in the season. And your quarterback, who has been the heartbeat of your team, and to Brew's point yesterday, the leader on and off the field, has been gone. But that practice footage is from last week. He was not ruled out of last week's game preliminarily. He was ruled doubtful, which is close to out, but it means he was getting closer. So I'm operating under the assumption if last week he was a close call, this week, if they want to play him, they could. If the playoffs were on the line, they definitely would. And what I'm saying is I believe the playoffs are on the line. Because I think if you go into the postseason with Jalen Hurts not having played in 5 weeks, you're drawing dead against whomever you play in round 2 that will, by definition, be coming off their high point of the season. They just won a playoff game. It's either Tom Brady or the Dallas Cowboys beating Tom Brady or Tom Brady's Bucks red hot. I don't want that if I'm the Eagles with Jalen not having played since early December.
But how sick are you going to be if you go into that same game and you don't have Jalen Hurts because you re-aggravated an injury because you wanted to give him a little bit of experience against a group of backups in the final game of the season that it was meaningful but not nearly as meaningful as what you're playing.
Let me just put a button on it with this. My side, my argument has the highest upside and without question the most downside.
Yeah.
The safest thing is don't play them until the playoffs, but I think for a team that feels like they should be able to win the Super Bowl, it lowers their upside considerably.
That's your MO for life.
What?
You come
super high
upside. Like, wow, have you seen this line? I'm going to leave that alone. And just, like, huge upside. Lions in Lambeau. Both teams 8-8. Packers favored by 4.5. Here's Dan Campbell on going.